Alright, we back. Hello. I waved twice. Here we go. We gotta continue from episode 1, so load the save file. The boat gave a big shudder. Seems we docked at the harbor. The boat driver came out and jumped to the pier with the mooring rope. A large man in tuxedo was waiting there for us with a warm smile. I didn't recognize his face, but judging by his clothes, I guessed he was a servant of the Ushiromaya head household. Welcome home, milady. You were so late in returning that he began to worry. Ah, thanks for caring. This morning I got so scared we had to slow down. It was seriously annoying. Shut up! Someday, when the shoe's on the other foot, you'll remember this. Ugh. At this rate, word will spread to the whole family, and I'll be the big conversation piece during dinner. Even without this, everyone would be talking about me because of that 6-year gap, but now, I've given them an even juicier topic. Oh, why does the Ushiromaya head family have to live on this isolated island? In the meantime, the boat had finished its mooring. A small plank was lowered so that we could get down. One by one, our parents came up from inside the boat. You must all be quite tired from your long trip. Madam, please allow me to assist you. Thank you. It's been a while, Goto-san. How are you? I thank you for your concern. It is always my pleasure to serve. Adler-kun, isn't this your first time meeting Goto-san? If I'm not mistaken, you weren't working here 6 years ago, right? Indeed, so please allow me. Wait, let's greet him, huh? For the first time, allow me to greet him? It is an honor to meet you, Badawar-sama. I'm pretty confident about my height, but you're huge. This is definitely our first meeting. I'd never forget meeting a big guy like you. It's a pleasure. I'm Badawar. I was looking forward to meeting you. I am Gota, your servant, and I have been working for the Ushiromaya head family since the year before last. It is a pleasure to make your acquaintance. If there is anything you need, please feel free to rely on me at any time. The music is setting some kind of mood right now. Gota-san, it's been some time. Pretty fancy. It has been too long, George-sama. I think it's all. Please allow me to assist you. As usual, you're pro at welcoming guests. If you ever need a job, just let me know, okay? I'd hire you anytime. You do me too much honor. Please allow me to assist you, Hideyoshi-sama. Gota-san then lent a hand to everyone as they disembarked, greeting them as they passed. His speech and mannerisms had the refined polish of a professional. He was very graceful in contrast with his initially tough-looking appearance. His large size made him seem a bit scary at first, but he was much more polite than my first impression had led me to believe. He claimed to have served on the island for 2 years, but he had doubtless worked at a similar job somewhere before. After everybody disembarked, the mooring rope was untied and the boat started to steer away from the harbor. It was probably returning to its home port in Nijima. Oh, on Nijima. It's an inn. On Nijima. I don't know if there's a difference or not. The captain waved his hand in farewell. Maria conscientiously waved her hand back. Now that I think about it, that must be why I felt something out of place for a while now. I can't hear the cries of the seagulls. What? Seagulls? The birds? If I remember correctly, whenever we came to this island in the past, the seagulls always greeted us with their lively nya croaks. You go like, oh! Because of that, whenever I hear the cries of seagull anywhere else, I get the feeling that I'm coming to a family conference. Cries of seagulls. Except for the small part of the island where those of the Ushiromaya head family live, Rokkenjima has been left uncultivated, which apparently makes it a paradise for wild birds. Supposedly there was a cliff somewhere that housed a huge seagull colony, so this island was always full of seagulls. Not having those seagulls here to greet us made me feel a bit lonely. What's wrong, Badawar? It's a girl. Oh, Aunt Rosa. It's nothing really. I was just thinking it's a bit lonely without the cries of the seagulls. I'll have to figure out some kind of voice for every character. It just depends on how they act. and my, that's true, now that you mention it, even though they're always so noisy, today there isn't one to be seen. Ooh, I know seagulls! Maybe it's because the seagulls are having a get-together somewhere too. Maria, did you want to see the seagulls? It's different when you actually see the person who's talking. Ooh, wanted to see them! Still, it's a bit strange there isn't even a single one around. Maybe Jessica grilled them all and ate them. Like, see who's voicing the characters. As they're voicing them. Don't say disturbing stuff like that. You'll get Maria believing it. I hope I remember the voice I made for her, because I do not right now. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Jessica Oni-chan grilled him. Jessica Oni-chan grilled him. Ooh. I did not. Oh my goodness, I don't know how to make both of you sound different. Why would I do something like that? That's right, Jessica grilled him. Skin him, meatballs, liver, and onion. This dude, swimming meatballs, liver, and onion. As I made fun of Jessica, Maria tagged along, looking like she was having fun. Oh, I never guessed she was such a good sport. Alrighty then, from today on, I'll make you my #1 follower. As I smiled at her, she beamed, looking overjoyed, possibly because she was happy about this little connection we'd made with each other. That's not it, Maria-chan. I've heard wild birds are attuned to changes in the weather and atmospheric pressure. The weather will probably get worse tonight. The seagulls might have returned to the nest early. I was gonna do like this really nerdy, snotty voice for her, but okay. Not grilled? Jessica Oni-chan didn't grill them? I think that would be a little too mean. No. I wouldn't do something like that. Battler, you admit right now that you lied. Battler-kun. Wait, Battler-kun, it's hard to change on the spot. Maria-chan is a naive girl, so she takes even jokes seriously. You should choose your jokes more carefully. George Aniki gently scolded me, even though I outstripped Aniki in height. Outstripped? Aniki was Aniki, of course. There was no choice but to obediently apologize. Sure, my bad. Maria, I'll use a normal voice. I'll use my normal voice for him, but I don't know about the rest of the characters. Maria, that was a joke. The seagulls are all taking it easy in their nests today, that's all. Battler lied? George Oni-chan told the truth? Okay, my voices will probably get better over time, but for now I'm awful. Had she actually been tricked despite all that fun she was having? Her pure eyes made me feel guilty. Maybe I went a little overboard with her after all. Yeah, that's right. What George Aniki said is true. The weather's bad, so they probably went home for the day. It doesn't mean they're gone. Right, Aunt Rosa? I'm not too bad, but I just want to make sure I know who's talking so I know what voice to do. That's right. Tomorrow, when the weather gets better, I'm sure they'll come back so we can hear them cry, yeah, like they always do. Goodness, I'd rather do nothing than this awful nonsense. I'll wait until the weather gets better and they come back. It's so inconsistent. Gonna wait until tomorrow. Gonna wait until the weather's better. Maria was in a lighter mood and was looking forward to tomorrow when the seagulls would come back and fill the skies. Still, George Aniki really was amazing at taking care of kids. I think I remember Aniki taking good care of me as well as when I was a brat 6 years ago. Aniki, that's probably your gift. Look how I'm massacring this boy. George Kuhn is amazing at if I'd called a novel as a whole little boy. George Kuhn is amazing at taking care of young kids. If you wanted to, I'll bet you'd do great with a job in childcare, don't you think? Yeah, it's almost like George Aniki was born to do something like that. Personally, I think that'd suit you better than doing business in some company president's office. Oh no, childcare is a fine career path, but it's not a job where merely liking children is enough. You really are modest, George. But Battler-kun is quite good with children too. Just a second ago, even though it didn't last long, Maria seemed to be having a lot of fun. Please, keep on playing with her like you did just now. Just choose your jokes more carefully, okay? He already said that! Aunt Rosa winked at me, giggling a little. She's a real mother, I thought to myself, who's happy to see Maria having fun. What a supportive girl. Come on, Rosa. And you brats too. What are you doing? Let's get going. Okay, we're coming. Oh, I was waving for us to hurry up. Yeah, we needed to get moving. We might as well have this conversation after setting our luggage down in our rooms. Now then, everyone, allow me to lead you to the guest house where you will be spending the night. Please, this way. Goto-san called to everyone and led the way. Kumasawa-san brought up the rear. I must let the words flow out of my mouth. A serpentine twisting path led through a dim forest. It ran a bit uphill. I guess the path was made all twisty so the slope wouldn't seem too steep, but personally I'd have been happier if they had the guts to make some stairs in a straight line. No doubt they made the path twist on purpose, to put on airs of distance and importance. Before long, we saw garden-style stone steps. From here on, I do have some memories. Go up these, and at the top of the stone steps, we saw a beautiful guest house. Oh. Ooh, Artemis is so pretty. Its facade was lovely, of course, but more importantly, we couldn't enter its doors without having our hearts stolen away by the splendor of the beautiful rose garden spreading before it. Oh, taking in everything. I guess that's why there were a bunch of talks at the beginning of that sentence. Ah, it's as beautiful as ever this year. A real delight for the eyes. After climbing the stone steps, the people greeted by this rose garden gave voice to their impressions one by one. Is it just me, or the flowers so a little less lively this year? It's probably because it wasn't hot this summer. I also believe that was a factor. Sadly, this year's blooming is a tad inferior when compared to last year's. Even so, it was a delightful rose garden. I remember that even 6 years ago, huge numbers of roses had greeted us every year. This rose garden was the first thing that greeted the people who came to Rokkenjima. Even our parents, who came every year, couldn't help but give voice to their admiration. In fact, it seemed to have undergone a power-up from the garden in my memories of 6 years ago. This place is always so amazing. It would be wonderful to have a rose garden like this at home. Give it up. Who do you think would take care of it? Roses are a real pain, with bugs and diseases to worry about. Well, from what I've heard, Kairi Nisan takes care of her rose every day and makes sure no bugs get anywhere near it, right? Huh? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Yeah, I could have said that a little better. That's right. Though in this person's case, the rose goes after the insects like some nasty carnivorous plant. Oh, so that's what you mean. Come on, Rosa. Can't you give that a rest just for today? I put that sort of thing completely behind me. I wonder. After all, you're a womanizer on almost every wait, on an almost genetic level. Oh, well. No need to worry, Rosa-san. When a rose gives you too much trouble, it's always best to ship it at the root. Oh, snip it. Snip it at the root. Ship it. Ho ho ho. Such frightening talk this is. Guys who are popular with the ladies are always forced to live dangerously. I sure hope I turn out a bit prettier in my next life. Hideyoshi Nissan, like I keep saying, it isn't like that at all. And Kairi, stop it. You're freaking me out. You've made my rose wilt. Oh, okay. I don't know what that means. Hey, Maria-chan, look over here. These roses are especially magnificent. Did he mean it literally? Magnificent roses. Whew. Smells pretty sweet. Look, this suits my elegance perfectly. Hey, cut it out! Maria's gonna imitate you and get hurt by the thorns. She yelled at me as I leaned in to smell the rose's scent with an exaggerated gesture. I thought she was overreacting, but when I turned around, I saw Maria imitating my every gesture in Georgianiki, smiling broadly at us. Hey now, Maria-chan, be careful. Rose thorns can hurt. Georgioni-chan, running this rose is strange. Strange? What's wrong? Maria pointed at a single rose. I immediately understood why she found it odd. I'm probably doing bad with consistency on the voices now, but if I can just figure out a better thing to say, magnificent, I forgot to read that one. Bruh. There wasn't any particular reason. Some roses flourish, and others will. That's all there was to it, but Maria seemed very concerned about the only unhealthy one in the group. I want to read the story, but I also want it to feel immersive too. It must have made her feel lonely. So you feel sad for this rose because it's the only one that isn't healthy? Whew. The others are all healthy, but this one's sad. Yeah. Come on. Well, they all bloom and wither at their own paces. This is harder than it looks. Oh man, this one's just starting to wilt early because it got to bloom before any of the others. Yeah, that's right. It probably just bloomed like crazy, fulfilled its duty, and went to sleep. You shouldn't get so worked up about it. Whew. It seemed that Maria's pure sensitive nature was making her feel some emotional pain for the rose that wilted alone. Even though she understood the logic of it, it still felt lonely to her. Then Maria-chan, why don't you look after this rose until we leave? George Aniki straightened up and felt around in his pocket. He then took out the wrapper from the candy he had been sucking on the plane. He twisted it into a thin string, then gently tied it to the rose as a sort of marker. Hey, that's pretty cute. Let's mark it with this. Later on, you can come and give it some water. I'm sure Mr. Rose will be happy. I like the music, it's nice. Woo! Come to give it water. Wait, come to give it water? I think you should give Mr. Rose here a name. I'm sure that'll make it happy and you'll get to know it a little better. A name? A name. Though she still wore her usual sullen face, Maria crossed her arms and began to consider this as a pet peeve. At the very least, she appeared to have been completely pulled out of her stomach. Nice going, Aniki. George Nisan has always been really understanding. Can't help but respect him. Yeah, I guess he was just born that way. We've got to start picking up tips. Was this garden just as magnificent when you all were kids? It was only after I stopped living here that it grew so big. Before that, the garden was simple, though I'm still attached to that one. Decent fiddled with it too much, with that vaguely bad taste of this. I liked it much better before. Eva, you gotta think positive. Setting aside how it used to look, its beauty now is something to be admired. You'll be able to relax a lot better if you look at it that way. I didn't mean it like that. I was just saying I wanted you to see this garden the way it was before too. Probably isn't what voice you'd think these people would have in your head, but I'm trying to get as close to that as I can. Everyone, if you please, I shall guide you to your rooms now. Goda-san called to everyone to ask if we were ready, but our hearts had been completely stolen away by the rose garden that none of us had seen for a year, so we didn't pay much attention to them. Since we weren't a travel group, it wasn't like we had a strict schedule to follow. Besides, since our parents were visiting their old home full of nostalgia, it wasn't like they had to let themselves be urged on by anyone or anything. Understanding the situation, Goda-san continued to sweep me, smiling widely, until our parents got tired of the roses and told them to guide us to our rooms. I don't know where that S came from. Oh, Goda-san continued to sweep. It's like, San sweet. Nah, Goda-san continued to wait. Bro. I don't know if that's something that would make sense. Oh, like a problem that people would understand. Hey, if it isn't Kanan-kun, it's been so long, how are you doing it? Okay, I'll read the novel. Uncle Hideyoshi suddenly shouted. Whoa, new girl. In the direction he was waving was a... Wait, that's a boy! No! It's a trap! Ah! Where did I go wrong? When you ran after a huge man like Koda probably emphasized his small stature. The boy who was in the middle, transporting power, new tools in a wheelbarrow. When he realized he was being called to stop, he set down the wheelbarrow, took his hat off, and bowed his head. Good afternoon. Hello, boy, who's clearly a boy. I figured he was probably younger than me. And I realized by the general chat atmosphere surrounding him that he was another servant. He greeted us in response to Uncle Hideyoshi's call, but he seemed like he might be pretty unsociable most of the time. It was a greeting that lacked feeling. When Koda-san noticed their interest, or drifted towards him, he went to the boy's side and introduced him to us. Bador-sama, allow me to introduce you. I didn't mean to, it was a force of habit. This is one of the servants of the Shiromaya head household. I saw the haircut and it seemed like something a girl would have. Kanan-san, Krito, yes. I'm pleased to meet you. I am the servant, Kanan. Yet my first impression wasn't wrong. He seemed to be unsociable, or the way he was not so good at talking. Compared to Koda-san, who was extraordinarily polished as a servant, you couldn't help but feel an inexperience typical of his age. When Koda-san urged him in a whisper to give a bit more of an introduction, the boy named Kanan only cast his eyes downwards. I can never take that back now. Kanan-san, could you perhaps give them a little more of a greeting? No, because we are furniture. What? He didn't seem to be refusing to greet us out of spite. Rather, he seemed to have fallen silent because he didn't know what else to say to us in greeting. Well, Kanan-kun's shy and doesn't tend to talk much. He might not be that sociable, but deep down, he's really a good person. Don't get him wrong. Oh, I said so wrong. Don't get him wrong. You've been working here for 3 years, haven't you? Pretty sure you started a year before Goda-san, right? Even though he wasn't exactly given a terrible first impression, Jessica hurriedly backed him up. I see. Apparently his unsociable nature causes him trouble a lot. Okay then, nice to meet you. I'm Bador. Oh, I think it was the hip. I'm 18. How old are you? Like, he has a thin waistline, so I got caught up over that. He fell silent, as though wondering whether or not it was a question he'd have to answer. But here again, Jessica plowed ahead. If I remember correctly, Kanan's 2 years younger than us, so 16, right? Yes, that is correct. It looked like he would prefer not to tell us his age if given the choice. That was probably because he thought we'd look down on him for it. I remember that when I was around his age, I hated being asked how old I was by adults. I see, 16, huh? That's gotta be a delicate time, which means I probably asked something I shouldn't have. I'm glad you're about our age. Just be cool and call me Bador, and I'll call you Kanan. Thank you very much. But the sentiment alone is sufficient, Bador-san. Jessica looked panicky for some reason. She seemed to think my impression of Kanan was getting worse because of his refusal. Well, as a girl, Jessica probably couldn't understand the fretful male heart at his age. As his elder, even by just 2 years. I'm stuttering. I took it upon myself to be understanding of that. Kanan-san, could you perhaps be a little more courteous? A smiling face is also part of a servant's duty. My apologies. I shall make an effort. He kind of reminds me of, like, a boy that's young but very mature. Oh, Goda-san, Kanan-kun was trying his best, yes? It looked like he was often warned about being unsociable. And apparently he hadn't improved one bit. Goda-san kept his business smile, but let a small sigh of resignation escape. Well then, I still have work to do, if you'll excuse me. It looked like Kanan himself was uncomfortable with remaining silent here any longer. After another perfunctory bow, he turned around and started pushing the wheelbarrow. Just then, the wheelbarrow suddenly wobbled and fell, scattering the load. I guess the wheelbarrow's single wheel got caught on a pebble and lost its balance. What do you think you're doing? Now, clean it up quickly. Goda-san urged him to hurry in a quiet voice, as though hinting that it was shameful for a servant to appear clumsy in front of guests. Kanan-kun wordlessly reloaded the wheelbarrow with the fallen objects, as if to say that he understood quite well without being told. He seemed to be fine with the light-looking gardening tools, shovels and such, but he looked like he was having trouble getting his arms around and lifting up some sacks of fertilizer. Are you okay? You're so careless. Here. My lady, you will dirty your garments. Please leave this to us. With a smooth motion, Goda-san took the shovel that Jessica picked up. Behind him, Kanan-kun was having trouble with the stacks of fertilizer. Whew! You'll dirty your garments? Don't worry, the ones I'm wearing aren't that expensive. Besides, I hate guys who just sit there and make the waitress pick up the fork they dropped in a restaurant. I lifted up the other bags that had fallen. Of course, they weren't light, but for me it was a piece of cake. Kanan-kun looked at me, surprised. It was the face of someone who never would have expected to receive help from a yes. Bador-sama, don't worry about it. I will take care of everything, so... Don't you worry. I may not look it, but I've got it where it counts. Since Kanana-kun looked like he hadn't yet gone through his growth spurt, he was stuck with a sort of weak body. This kind of weight might have been too much for him. It's quite heavy. It's natural that it would be difficult for you. Don't worry about it, Kanana-kun. Okay, my time to shine. This makes up for the blood stuff from before, right? Ha! As if this could make up for creeping out like that. Ha ha! Later, I'll tell you about it too, Kanana-kun. Battle is totally hilarious. This is good translation for a novel that originated in Japan. There was one mistake that I saw, but yeah, I like it. As they did this, I piled all the stuff back into the wheelbarrow. I beg your forgiveness for letting you witness us unsightliness. Unsightliness? Yeah, I said unsightliness. Come now, that's quite enough. Please go. Letting the guests who were supposed to feel welcome see such a disgraceful thing must have been hideously embarrassing for a servant. I hope I'm talking louder than the music. It's kind of loud. Yeah. Pressed by Goda to hurry up and go, Kanana-kun left. You're too harsh on him, Goda-san. Shouldn't you have helped him instead of being a bully? That was wrong of me. I try to find a balance between the volume of my voice and the music that's playing. I deeply implore your forgiveness. Without even a twitch and a smile, Goda-san apologized elegantly. Kanana-kun has a ton of things he's good at too. It's just that being young works against him all the time. It's a crying shame. Well, it's a prickly age. Let's just leave him be. After all, closed-mouthed servants are the best kind. Isn't that right, Kumasawa-san? Ho ho ho. Rudolph-sama, you truly are harsh. There is no servant as silent as me, of course. Everyone smiled wryly at that obvious lie. Even she herself didn't believe that, not in her wildest dreams, so she must have said it to lighten the mood. Yeah, that's the kind of character Kumasawa Bachan used to be. The once stiff atmosphere cleared up at once thanks to her tearful smile. I'd like to set down our luggage soon. Goda-san, what rooms are we all going to take? It shall be the same as the previous year. Allow me to guide you. Please, this way. We headed towards a trim, elegantly simple guest house. This was going to be our temporary quarters for the night. That's a lot of dots. Kanan watched over her head as the guests all entered the guest house. Then he let his eyes fall on those heavy sacks of fertilizer piled up in the wheelbarrow. In his mind, he kept going over his previous mistakes. One mistake, not multiple mistakes. One bad word, big and strong, had picked up the sacks. Had picked up the sacks in front of him, the sacks Kanan couldn't lift himself as if they were feathers. It would be extremely difficult for an outside observer to guess what emotions that favor had stirred up in Kanan. But as far as you could tell by watching him hang his head, there was something that he just couldn't let go of. Muttered words escaped his lips, but those words he murmured were so soft that they didn't even reach his own ears. Even Kanan hung his head slightly, biting his lower lip. I need to check something right now, hold on. Yay. Looks like everything's good. Oh! I remember the rose garden. Okay. Yeah, the music is kind of loud. I just want to make sure my voice is still being heard. But I don't remember the guest house at all. Was it built recently? Torian Visitor's Retreat was written... I was confused by the pronunciation, or the spelling of that. Was written on a K-post-like thing. But since everyone called it the guest house, I followed their lead. The brand new Western-style guest house, which stood overlooking the roses, had a magnificent design carefully done in harmony with the garden. Correct! It was built the year before last. Ever since then, they've had a sleep over here. This place is more fun than a junky old mansion. I wish my room was over here. I want a room here too. I want one. I guess you could say my own house was upper class, but to me, it felt completely ordinary compared to the head family. The display of wealth was shocking, as was the fact that they built this kind of awesome guest house for guests who came over only a few times this year. Iva-sama, Hideyoshi-sama, please do make use of this room. Rudolph-sama, Kairi-sama, please take this room here. I really do love how beautiful and elegant this place is. Western-style architecture truly is wonderful. I can handle Western design for a few days, but any longer than that, you need the good old Japanese look. Japanese people just relax best on tatami mats. Tatami? Haha, they've been fighting over whether to make our new house Japanese style or Western style. Mom still holds a grudge about Dad having the construction started with a Japanese layout, and they bicker all the time about it. I'm really jealous, George and his son. Your parents get along well, don't they? Mine are so frosty. And again, they're always in sync when it comes to appearance. Do be like that. All the rooms seemed to be for two people. I was grateful since I wasn't going to be forced to share the same room with that old, under the pretext that we were family. And anyway, I figured those wouldn't be able to enjoy themselves with someone like me around. He just laughed in his head. What's with that creepy smile? You're thinking about something dirty, aren't you? Something dirty? Of course not. Please enjoy your stay. Oh, ow. Wait, ow, 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 ow. I said, oh. That hurts you, old. Oh, that's not very nice. Oh, it's him again. Okay. It's getting bad for my ears and mine. I totally thought the girl was the one that wanted to your head. Cut the crap. I'm getting a stomach ache, and I'm not in the mood for this. You're the guest of honor this time around, so play as nice as possible with Dad, Naniki, and the rest. At the very least, be careful of what you say in front of your dad. In front of your dad, in front of Dad. Same thing. Got it? Because wisecracks don't go too well with them. Jessica-chan, what's the head's mood been like lately? Same as last year, I guess. Considering they say he's got 30 months left to live. He's as lively, grumpy, and irritable, so. All the stuttering roads, ruining things. Meaning this year he's in his usual bad mood. And as usual, the only one who's able to look after him is Genji-san. It seems to master open. It's hard, like, to no one else. I don't know. So much difference in all these voices. I'm trying to make that happen. Lately, us small people have not even been granted an audience with him. The biggest challenge when 3 people with similar voices are on the screen together. He's shut himself up in his study again, probably doing nothing with that weird black man. I'm trying to think of something. Not really. It's just hard. I mean, I am trying. It doesn't look like it though. What he does for a hobby is his own business, but when he starts stinking up the house, it really gets on my nerves. The middle one's talking, right? I wish he'd never come out of that study again. You shouldn't talk like that about the elderly. We're all indebted to him since he rebuilt the Ushira Maya family. It's one thing to read these in my head, but another to read them out loud. You should be more grateful. Well, sorry. After being rebuked by George and Nikki, Jessica had no choice but to take back her thoughtless remark. The Ushira Maya family was wealthy beyond belief, but of course, that meant all its members were a bit strange and completely out of touch with the world at large. And at the top of the chain, the family head, our grandfather, seemed especially strange and terrifying even for our family. Dad said he was getting a stomachache earlier, and I imagine that reflected the honest feelings of all the adults here today. No doubt they were jealous of us grandchildren who could just play around and laugh without a care. I want to have pretty voices come out of my mouth. From the stories Dad told me, the family head was a violent man who ruled with his fists, beating his children, even his daughters, mercilessly with a wooden sword. Boy! If he was so strict and uptight about that, why couldn't he have been a little more conservative with his kids' names? Because of that, even us grandkids have had to suffer. Anyway, I can't say I have any trouble believing those terrifying stories about him. I don't remember meeting him very often, but I think I recall him looking extremely grumpy all the time, always making people cower with that sharp gaze of his. I remember that the room's atmosphere got so tense whenever he was around, you couldn't even breathe. I might want to turn the music volume down in the future. Maybe now, if I get time. What my dad said about me being the guest of honor now carries a little more oomph for me. 6 years ago, I was in elementary school, but I'm a high schooler now. If I act up, things could get serious. Ooh, scary. He does look frightening, but he's not so terrifying that you need to tense up like that, or else he'll eat you. Like that? I hope it's better. Nothing of what he says is truly unreasonable. He may be clumsy at talking, but he's a very logical person. But George and Nissan, you've been the family diary since like forever because of your awesome grades, right? I'm trying to find the right tone for all these. Yeah, if I got that, I think it would be easy. Grandfather treats us completely different. Okay, not that. Even gotten slapped with a wooden sword. On my... my namely... What in the world? Oh, Jessica! Whoa, you're the heiress of the head family, Jessica-chan. Grandfather is giving you special attention. You've got to realize that his strictness crushes high hopes for you. Oh, come on. Seriously, I could just turn the succession over to you, George Winston. It's a bit of a heavy burden for you to carry. I think I already said it before, but Jessica's the girl heir to the head family. We're only cousins in branch families, so she probably feels a different sort of pressure than we do. My mouth gets a little tired from all I was talking to. Jessica, Oni-chan, is that him? Hi, good morning. Look at me. Thanks. It's okay. I'm not gonna push on you now. I'm gonna bear this cross into you. Don't worry. She was grateful for Maria's innocent concern, but Jessica's face still seemed to contain some of the uneasiness that she felt towards the future. Maybe we were in the same boat. Any high schooler with exams approaching would have trouble hiding their anxiety for the future. Maria, come here. You and I will be in this room. Battle-kun, I heard you're gonna be with me in this room here. Oh, now there's a surprise. It's bigger than our parents' rooms. Dang! Well, I figured, because we cousins would all want to hang out together, so I told him to get a bigger room already. Yeah, told him to get a bigger room. I like it here more too. I'd rather be here than with Mama. Oh, you like it better here too, Mert? Okay, this room is George's and mine, but we'll give you special permission to come in. Better keep it a secret from your mom, okay? It's a secret! Aunt Rosa was right behind us, but Maria still answered, striking the air with her fist punched tight. After setting down their luggage in their rooms, our parents had gathered again in the corridor. Hey, what are you brats planning to do? Are you cousins just gonna stay here and chat? It seemed they were heading to the mansion to announce their arrival. Normally they would make us fall in and greet everyone together. Yeah, but if that had been the case, Dad would have just told us to come and that'd be the end of it. He's saying it's okay if we don't come, so what do? I had a bug on my hand. Well, it's gonna be lunchtime before long anyway. Better let the kids unwind here. Besides, if worse comes to worse, this might be their last chance to play outdoors. I'll go too. Maria, you house sit for Mama, okay? Behave yourself and wait here. Maria, since Maria was being told to house sit here, we certainly couldn't leave her on her own. George and Nikki noticed this immediately and gave her clear reply for all his cousins. Wait, reply? Reply. Well then, we'll accept your offer and house sit. We've got lots of stories to tell each other after being away for a year. That sounds wonderful. And Battle-kun is 6 years worth of stories to tell, doesn't it? Yeah. I'll take care of the house like a good boy. Kumasawa-san, I'm gonna stay here too. We'll break rank and leave the rest to the adults. Perhaps that would be the best. I'll report it to Madam. Then allow me to guide you all to the mansion. This way, please. The other children are one thing, but George is getting to be an adult. Wouldn't it be better if he came with us? If we make him come, then poor George will be the only one out of place. Interacting with his cousins is also important. Okay, see y'all later. The adults left one after the other. They left in the same formation as our trip from the harbor, with Goda-san leading and Kumasawa-san taking the rear. As we gathered in the room assigned to us cousins, George and Nikki asked us to excuse him for a second. He rushed over to Kumasawa-san, who was following behind the disappearing adults, and seemed to ask her something. He soon finished his business and came back. What's up, Nikki? Nothing. I just wanted to ask her something. Tell me too! What could George Nissan be asking Kumasawa-san and not me, I wonder? I don't have a clue. No, it's a misunderstanding. Not that I know what you're misunderstanding. Miki was getting pretty tongue-tied. It was almost as though he felt guilty about something, and Jessica knew exactly what he was worried about. At any rate, it's no fun if Jessica gets to know about it, and not me. Hey, Maria, it looks like we're the only two out of the loop, right? Don't you want to know what they're talking about? Whew! We want to know too! We want to know too! I'm trying to say that it was right! I fooled around. Wait, I fooled around while doing together with Maria. No, I'm telling you, it's still a big deal. Liar. What is this, two truths must nine speak? Liar. I'm surprised you tell such a horrible, terrible lie, Nikki. Confess. Maria, you tickled his right side. I'll tickle his left. Whew. I've got his right side. Badwar's got his left. Whew. Wait a second. Wait, you two. Oh, they're tickling him. Okay. Stop. I thought they were both tickling Maria. Got her. Maria and I played around chasing George and Nikki as he tried to escape, rolling on the bed. I realize high schoolers aren't supposed to bounce around like kittens, but I still miss this kind of fun. A warm, cozy kind of fun. George said, what were you asking Kumasawa-san? Well, I've got a good guess. It's been a year since the last time he visited the head family. Who knows what servants might come and gone during that time. Either way, it looks like he'd like to go and say hi. Say hi? I want to say hi too! What? There's nothing to feel guilty about, Nikki. I'm not buying it. Maria, don't be fooled. Niki's still hiding something. More torture. Stop it, seriously. Maria-chan, you two stop already. She's probably busy cleaning or getting lunch ready. Don't worry, she'll drop by to say hi sooner or later. I'll bet you'd rather have been welcomed in by Shannon instead of that nosy Goda. Shannon? Shannon. Yeah, I remember a girl with that name. Is she still a servant? How's she doing? Oh. Alright. By the way, Natsuhime-san, how's your headache been lately? It seemed pretty serious before. I have been much better lately. Thank you for your concern. Alright, here. A present for you, Natsuhime-san. Okay. Thank you very much. I'm always receiving gifts from you. Is this black tea? It's herb tea with peppermint and lemon balm. It's a blend from a well-known store, and it's supposed to be good for headaches. I thought it might help you too. Rosa was always a conscientious woman. Probably because she was the youngest of four and much younger than the other three. She managed to grow up without gaining the venomous nature of her siblings. Her kind words got Natsuki softened or refreshed for just a moment, but it wasn't enough to melt her stony gaze, hardened as if it was by long years of mental stress. Come to think of it, you're always complaining about those headaches. Pull yourself together. Jessica-chan has her exams this year, right? That's going to be a turning point in her life. Will she really be able to rely on you as a mother if you're like that? Besides, Natsuhime-san, you're 3 years younger than me. You should get your act together. I apologize. I've had a tendency for headaches all my life. Even under normal circumstances, Eva sometimes failed to choose her words carefully. But her comments aimed at Natsuhime contained shards of obvious malice, though she hid it with a smile. Of course, that fact didn't escape Natsuhime. She frantically contained her urge to grimace and pretended to ignore Eva. Our Bador-kun will have his exams this year too. Rudolph-san, shouldn't you be a little concerned as well? For the sake of your own son, you'd better get serious to the point of having headaches like Natsuhime-san. If I say anything, he automatically rebels. So what should I say? Should I say the opposite? That it's okay for him to mess around? That's probably the only way I could get him to listen to me. Hideyoshi Nissan, George did really well on his exams, right? Please, you've got to teach me a trick to handling children. Well, it's probably because I got him to understand why he should study. Study isn't worth anything on its own. That's right, the real point of studying is to practice research and stuff on your own whenever you bump into something you don't know. If you can't do that, you can't be useful to society. I'm not talking about math or writing. You gotta learn how to work. Facts. That's splendid. I wish our Jessica could understand that as well. If she is to be that artist, I bet she or my family then at this rate. Do you really have to force her to become a new successor? After all, a woman has to find a woman's happiness. Parents shouldn't force such things on their children, don't you think? Hold your horses, Eva. Each family has its own way of raising their kids. You shouldn't be pushing. I'm sorry. Natsuini-san, don't take it the wrong way. Though the light shining in through the window was quite warm despite the cloudy weather, there was a dark mood about the room, which was probably causing headaches for more than just Natsu. As if to sweep away that mood, Kairi brightly made a suggestion to all present. Still, this black tea is a really lovely aroma. Let's drink it right away. In Japan, surely you couldn't find something like Leopold's black tea anywhere but Ginza, right? I see you know a lot about it, Kairi-san. I guess it was worth going to the trouble of buying it. Going through the trouble? Kairi and Rosa stood up from their seats and made as if to prepare the black tea, but Natsu forestalled them. I thank you both, but we can try that later. One of our people will soon be coming to bring some tea, so please relax. Leave it for later, you two. Let's enjoy our welcome drink. Rudolph gave a subtle signal with his eyes for them to sit down again. Kairi and Rosa understood instantly and obediently returned to their seats. I could still be reading this better, so it's fine if the dialogue makes mistakes every now and then. I don't know, just I want to read better, and I must. The initial greeting of the guests was complete, so it was time for them to be served some tea. It was embarrassing for the host that the tea was late, especially now that the guests were talking about making tea themselves. Natsu bit her lower lip, frustrated by the ineptitude of the servants who were late bringing in the tea. Seeing her face, Eva immediately started to giggle. Of course, Shannon had no way of knowing what was taking place in the parlor. She came pushing a serving cart piled with teacups. For no apparent reason, Natsu gave her a pained look, and Shannon couldn't help but flinch without knowing what she had done wrong. Oh, excuse me. Your tea is ready. Oh, Shannon-chan, it's been a while. You keep getting prettier every time I see you. Oh, thanks. Save the chatting for after you set the table. The tea will get cold. I apologize, madam. She apologized like a small, frightened animal. Bumped against the serving cart and made a jarring racket as she dropped several teaspoons. Her clumsiness made Natsu's expression turn even darker, which made Shannon quail even more. Come on, Natsu-san. There's nothing wrong with her exchanging a few words in greeting. The tea must be plenty cold already, considering how long we've been kept waiting. There's no need to worry. It's not cold yet. Shannon finished setting the table, quickly. I'm sorry, madam. Natsu's irritation was obvious by now. The ineptitude that delayed the tea, the clumsiness of the servant, everything pointed to the incompetence of Natsu's everyday leadership, making her lose face. As the person in charge of the Shiramaya head family's kitchen, allowing that clumsiness to be exposed, today of all days, was surely nothing less than total humiliation. Lay off, Natsume-san. Don't you think it's a little harsh to bully Shannon-chan when she's trying her best? I'm not bullying anyone. What a nice aroma. May I ask what brand this is? I'm terribly sorry. I'll find out for you later. Kairi was trying to be nice, hoping to cut through the tense mood. However, Shannon had embarrassed herself instead, darkening Natsu's face and the room's mood. By this point, Eva was audibly giggling. Oh, what's this? Shannon-chan, don't you even know what the plan is? Come on, you mustn't serve something so suspicious to guests. Only a silver spoon at the very least before we can read this. I'm sorry. I'll give you one immediately. Shannon-chan, do you know what silver spoons are used for? They have to be silver. Do you know why? No. A teasing smile rose to Eva's face as she stared at Shannon setting the table. By itself, Eva's expression was sweet in an impish sort of way. However, the words being spun from her lips held the keenness of a razor within them. Shannon tried with all her might to avoid Eva's continuing gaze. Realizing that Shannon was hard-pressed for an answer, Rosa gave some timely help. They say that if silver is touched by poison, it darkens. Guess you've learned something today, Shannon-chan. They were acting as though this tea needed to be tasted for poison before it could be drunk. In Nessie's eyes, this was an insult both to the tea and to herself for serving it. Rudolph laughed flippantly and patted Eva's shoulder. Haha, silver cutlery won't do any good for you, Umineko. Just one look of your poisonous tongue, even a silver plate would turn pitch black. Wahaha! Since I get to hear that poisoned tongue every day, I must be poison-proof myself by now. Eva, I don't mind when you use it on me, but you better hold back when talking to people who haven't built up a resistance. Wahaha! That's quite a laugh you got there, sir. My, how cool. All I did was teach Shannon-chan a bit about tea, didn't I? Everyone followed the lead set by Hideyoshi's horse laugh and chuckled, though not easily horse laugh. I thought it was nice. Only Natsu didn't join in, but for the time being, the conversation inside the parlor could now be mistaken for a lively and friendly chat. As Shannon finally finished setting the tea table and tried to leave, Kyrie apologized to her in a low voice for not being able to help. Shannon gave a little no. Yeah, this is interesting. Shannon cast her eyes downwards as she pushed the cart down the corridor. Anyone seeing the pitiful way she looked might easily conclude that she'd been bullied in some way. Don't be sad. You didn't do anything wrong, Eastman. You were watching. That is my role. I mean, Eva saying, oh, but the worst coward is that guy. Cannon glared hatefully in the opposite direction of the parlor. The preparations for the tea had been delayed by some trifling problems in the kitchen. These problems were not Shannon's fault. In fact, it had been Goda's mistake. After all, there was no way a show-off like Goda would give up a flashy job like bringing in tea when the guests arrived. He had ended up wasting time preparing the tea once again. So when he realized he wouldn't be able to score any points for this job, he pushed the task of setting the table on Shannon, who happened to be passing by. You might call it a clever move on his part, but there could be no doubt that it was a cowardly one. How do you do this stuff? It's so hard. It's okay, Kanaka. Thanks. I'm not bothered by it at all. Kanan's silence vividly expressed the distance between Shannon's words and how she actually felt. Thank you. Even if you're the one who understands, I feel a bit better. You keep your feelings too bottled up, Nissan. You should be less hard on yourself for once. She's talking right now, right? Oh, I reversed the roles there. Voices. Yeah, thanks. Suddenly, they both felt someone's presence and whirled around. A middle-aged man stood there. New character. Genji. Wait, it was Genji, the head servant. I don't remember if I seen it before. Oh, what are you doing there? Shannon hurried back to the kitchen. Yes, if you'll excuse me. Shannon humbly obeyed and promptly made to push the cart and leave. However, Kanan appealed to Genji in silence, bearing something in his eyes that he could not express in words. What is it? Did something happen? Shannon didn't do anything wrong, but even so, they... Stop it, Kanan-kun. Please excuse me. I'll return to work immediately. Kanan-kun, you should get back to your post too. Please. If you say so, Miss No. If that is all, then go. Yes, if you'll excuse me. Oh. That was him! Yeah. From the shadows in the hallway, an old woman wearing an apron washed over him. It was Kumasawa. Oh, it just like happened for poor Shannon's head. Kanan said, there's no reason for those two to be picked on. Still, Goda-san dislike for them is an undeniable fact. Until Goda-san was taken in by the Shiramai head family, I hear word for about his hotel somewhere. The manner of work he learned there was quite impressive, I believe. It's just that Goda-san is the newest servant here. He must have a lot of pride accumulated from his previous positions, because Shannon-san and Kanan-kun are seniors here at the mansion, and yet are inexperienced and have gone through much less in life as picks on them at every chance he gets. And also, sad as it may be, they are disliked by Madame Nesuri too. Of course, if we're talking about experience, the Madame has been in this family much longer. And yet, this is one point where I cannot help but sympathize with the Madame as well. Truly, the Master is a man with many sins on his conscience. Why didn't he realize that such a trifling whim of his swim would? Why didn't you realize that such trifling whim of his would give the madam such an inferiority complex? Of course, on the inside, even the madam is fully aware that those who don't deserve to be treated so harshly. It's true. However, the heart has reasons that reason knows not. I feel so sorry for them. I can't do anything but watch over them from the shadows. Oh. Okay. Midnight? Huh. Or something. Okay, I think I'll stop there. Bye bye.